Quick hits. This is a part of the show that we just added a few shows ago. And as some of you that watch the show know, these are three things that have appeared in the news recently. And I kind of wanted to make a bit of a comment on all three. First one, Toronto condo market in a rough patch right now. We're seeing sales that are down. There's a reason for that. We'll touch on it pretty briefly. Could NVIDIA could their AI chip be delayed? We know that the rumor out there is that NVIDIA, their most recent creation, their Blackwell chip for NVIDIA, was supposed to come out in the fourth quarter of this year. There's now been reports that it's going to be delayed. There was a bit of a flaw in the product, and they've had to delay the launch to the first quarter of next year. What does that mean for NVIDIA? Well, I can tell you, if it proves to be true, NVIDIA stock will probably pull back. And in fact, it probably has already pulled back based on that rumor. The last one, Warren Buffett sells half of his Apple holdings. Interesting statistic about that is even though they've sold off a lot of their Apple holdings, Apple still remains one of its largest holdings at Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's stock or company. So I guess the headline's a little misleading. So let's talk very quickly about the condo market having a bit of a rough patch in our country. We have a chart we can pull up on the condo market, which clearly shows that, condo sales are down. They're down by quite a bit. And I guess you could attribute that to a couple of things. These are new condo sales, not older ones, but new condo sales down by quite a bit. 70% of condo sales are actually done or purchased by investors. So these aren't people that are moving in. These are actually people buying it as an investment. And with interest rates still high in Canada, with costs rising to carry that condo purchase, and it just doesn't make sense right now to own or purchase a new condo. They're just too darn expensive to buy in the city of Toronto. And the builders don't want to cut their pricing because to build the condo, the costs of building are still very, very high. So we're seeing condo sales fall. And if I'm not mistaken, it's they've fallen by the most we've seen since the 90s. So for many that I talk to, they say, well, Toronto's becoming a place of condominiums. Well, that may be true, but it looks like the condo sales are definitely slowing down. And it's hard to say what's going to cause condo sales to spike back up. Perhaps it'll be lower interest rates. That probably will get things moving again. And so maybe the condo market will see a bit of a decline, but hopefully will perk back up in the spring of next year. The next news item, I guess, quick hit, as we call it, that I wanted to discuss is NVIDIA. And that whole idea that their chip has been delayed. I've talked to a few people, and no one seems to know the real truth. Right now, it's just a report. NVIDIA hasn't come out and said anything as of yet. But overall, if NVIDIA were to not produce or at least not sell their new chip in the fourth quarter of this year, obviously that would be could be a blow to its sales. It would also hamper a lot of the companies that use NVIDIA chips, like Meta, like Google, like Amazon, like Microsoft, and the like. So this is and like Apple as well. So all the big tech names use NVIDIA. All of their spending, their spending that they plan on for the next year is going to, and a lot of it's going to NVIDIA, some of it to AMD, of course, for these AI chips. So if that chip is delayed to the new year, that would be an issue. And we actually have a chart on NVIDIA once again, and this is a short-term chart, and you can see how much NVIDIA has dipped in the last little while. I think a lot of it based on what's happened in the general market, but also some of it to do with perhaps a delay in their chips. The last news topic I wanted to touch on briefly is this whole idea that Warren Buffett has sold out of Apple stock. Now, as I said, keep in mind, they still own half their position, which is a very large position, still one of the largest in their portfolio. So anyone that was selling because Warren Buffett sold, I think that was a mistake. if that's the reason why you're selling. If you're selling Apple or trimming some of the profits because its valuation is a little bit stretched, then that makes more sense to me. I would say to hold Apple. I'm probably not a buyer of Apple at these levels. I'm not a seller of the whole position, but I would be a hold and maybe trim some of the profits. So to me, those are the three, I guess, news items or ideas that I've been seeing a lot of in the news in the last little while. And I wanted to provide a comment to all of you on each of them.